let's start variation.
Variations or variances in an organism's genetic composition or phenotype. Variations occur as a result of mutation, recombination during gamete production, or environmental influences. Variations are classified into two types. Genotypic variances are caused by chromosomal or gene alterations or by different alleles of the same gene. They are inherited variants. These are caused by mutation, recombination, and other factors. Food supplies, climatic change, and purposeful attempts all contribute to phenotypic variants. They are largely acquired rather than inherited, and they can alter over a person's life. They play no important function in evolution.
There are two types of variation. All right. Now, for around 2 to 3 minutes, you'll feel like you're in a bio class, going back to your college. All right. So, genotypic variation versus phenotype variation. All right. Now, the point here is variation means any kind of changes, simple sets of changes. Changes can be within the body, within organism. All right. Within the body, with the genetic composition. The first one. Now, this variation can be done because the result of mutation, recombination, or gamete production. What do you mean by that? Or environmental factor. What do you mean by that? How does the COVID, COVID affected largely to men's versus females? That was the genetic variations. Are we getting it? Okay. How did the COVID affected senior citizens versus juniors versus children? All right. Genetic variation, I can give one of the best example. Like for certain time of period, you're unable to determine what is the fetus gender, male or female. You won't be able to determine after certain level. That is called as genetic type of variation. Is this clear? Genetic variation is genetic variation. See, the color of your eye, which you people have, might be depending on your forefathers or on your grandfather or your maternal grandfather, paternal grandfather, correct? That is called as genetic variations. You can pick any of your father, maternal or paternal father's genes, and you can have your, it's a probability to have your own kind of a eye color. Simple. That's called a genetic variations. All right. So that is caused by the chromosal or gene alteration. That is gene alteration, nothing but the color of your eye is a perfect example of gene alteration. Clear? Okay. And this is called by mutation or recombination. Combination of your mother and father, or both the parents combination gives us the combination of our facial features. All right. Of our body features. Clear? That is genetic variance. Now, the second type of variations is called as phenotype. Phenotypic or phenotype is nothing but those variances which is the environmental, but that is those are largely inherited. All right. Inherited means which can alter a person's life. What can alter a person's life? That is food supplies. Like that's why people are switching over to organic food again, because of the chemicals used on our products, climatic change, purposeful attempts. All right. Now, what kind of food? So we change our food as per the climate. We change our food as per the temperature. Correct? So here a person's genotype is required for the sequences of the DNA. That would be the genotype type. Phenotype type is what was the observable expression. That means after the person is born, what was the final understandable whether the child has gone under mother's or father's much more dominantly. That will become your phenotype observation. Are we clear? So phenotype observation is also that kind of factor which is outside factor. All right. Variation is there, which is the outside factor, external factor. How would I say that? What is a perfect way of understanding of the phenotype? So here, phenotype means that is, it's a physical expression or characteristics of a trait. All right. Though you can have a very resemblance of your child, of your parent, but your nature and your parent's nature can be very different. Can be contradict, correct? That is called as phenotype. Why? Because the way we are cultured, the way we are, like for example, you can be much more, little bit of calm or not so calm. So depending on the cultural factor which we are, our peer group decides our personality, our nature, correct? So that decides, but we have been able to regain our structures done as per the our thinking pattern, right? We are four of us here today. Correct? Our thinking pattern, our way of connecting, our way of communication has undergone a lot of changes. Correct? But the foundation was the same. The foundation was of your parents. The similar factor for all of us is, what are the factors similar in all of us? Learning Six Sigma. Aren't we Indian citizen? We have the similar voting rights. We also we celebrate similar public holidays. Those are phonetic variances. Got it? Those are phonetic variances amongst us. Clear, everybody? So, the likewise. Now, this variation is been this. Why are we studying about these both the type of variation? Because companies does lot of research and lot of investment has been done, funding has been done for these kind of subject is the only to understand the customer, understand the customer's hobbies, their choice, their preferences, their likes and dislikes, everything is understood if you are understanding genetic and phonetic variations. Clear? This is for specifically for those who are into product industry or want to understand about the product. So before understanding the product, they have to understand the customer and the pattern behavior, purchasing pattern behavior. Clear, everybody? Okay. Next slide.
All of the differences that exist in a population of the same species are referred to as variation. These variations are caused by genetic variety refers to distinctions between people that are inherited from their parents, such as the color of their eyes, hair, and skin. Environmental variation, which includes scars and tattoos, refers to changes between people that are not inherited but are caused by the environment in which the organism lives. Individual variations induced by both genetic and environmental variables, such as height and weight, are referred to as genetic and environmental variants.
Now, there are three variations here. Genetic variation, all right? This is the second example, and here is individual variations, all right? Now, genetic variety, that means how your color and the eyes and color of the skin, eyes, or hair, it all inherited by your genes, inherited by your generations, by your forefathers, by your maternal parents, by your paternal parents' sides, all right? Now, environmental variation, this is genetic variation, correct? What variation is this? When it is being done by the external factor, they are not inherited, but they are because of the environment. Which type of variation example is this? Tattoos and scars. It's phonetic, all right? This is a perfect example of phonetic. You might have seen the grandmothers, no? Some of the rural areas, some of the people. You see the very, very old grandmother, they have certain red, green color tattoos, that time. It was forcefully done. Yeah. There are still so many grandmothers. And this is nothing only for North India or South India or East or West. This is a common factor in all the India, if you realize. Correct? Right? The print were different. In South India, we have different prints, right? The South is that there are many varieties in South India. It's like the entire nation is South India. There are many states in South India, likewise in many states in North India. But there's one particular factor is this particular green color, right? So it was very interesting factor, and that makes a difference. A perfect example of phonetic variation, which is variation done because of the environmental factor. The third type is individual. That means individual variation is induced by both when you're combining genetic and phonetic. All right, genetic and phonetic both, you'll give you individual variations, and this is referred to as genetic and environmental variances. Clear, everybody? Individual variances. All right, there would be one person in the family who looks very different from all the others. Agree or not? Please tell me quickly. There would be one or two children. You'll be like, who is she on, or who is he on? Like, we always wonder. But that particular child, okay, or a grown up would having a genes of very, very old genes in your family. All right. Okay. That is, and those genes. So the one child who looks very different from all the others in the family, that particular child got a combination of genetic and phonetic variation both. Now got it, the perfect answer? Now the first one. Now that was the previous sets of slide, genetic and phonetic variation and individual variations are for learning about humans, are for learning about a customer, consumers, their patterns, their behavior, their hobbies. All right. Now, next one, continuous variation. The two types, continuous variation, and the second one here we have is, I'll show you, discontinuous. These two variations are for the company perspective. When the company is doing research about a data, for example, you're selling a particular product. When the particular products have been sold more during the festival seasons, and when do you have a slack or a downtime period, or no sales at all, that it is during rainy seasons. Practically, those are called variation. Means the companies are now applying the variation in the company, within the company premises, or they're understanding about the customer. The two types were understanding about the consumer. Now it is understanding about our products and services. That's continuous variation. Understood? Let's start. Two types of variation. Continuous and discontinuous. Kindly continue.
Continuous variation. Measurement with continuous variance provide us with data that falls into a range. The height of a person is an example of continuous change. It varies from the smallest person on the planet to the tallest person on the planet because any height between these numbers is feasible. This is continuous fluctuation. For example, if you possess a ruler that could measure tiny enough numbers, as a result, a feature that gradually varies throughout a range of values exhibit continuous fluctuation. These are some examples of similar characteristics: height, arm, span, and weight.
So did you heard about the tallest man in the world? Youngest, smallest heighted female in the world is some Jyoti from India, and the tallest
Yes.
is some other country, right? What is variation in these factors? Variation means is to understand that is there's a probability that shortest could be a size of a 2-year-old or 3-year-old, correct? And the tallest could be a size of a 1-story building, or right? So this is what we got the limitation. What is this? Our limitation. And who are we? We have an average height, right? Being an Indian, 4 citizen of here, we have an average height that can be understood, correct? So this
Mm.
varies from the smallest person, who is Jyoti, and the tallest person is from some international personality on planet. So their height between these numbers is visible. So between these numbers, who are we? We are here. In between the numbers, we are the average height of Indian females would be 5.6, 5.5. Average height of Indian men would be around 6 maximum, or lesser than 6 approximately, correct? That is called as continuous fluctuation. Okay, and this can be done. This fluctuation is like it's done through a range of values. Range of values means which can be fluctuated, right? A younger sibling can be more heighted, yes or no? Hello?
Yes.
Exactly. Though they were born later on, but they have a more height than us. Why? Because it's all genetic factor. That's why those variation is because of the height. How do we know the variation? Continuous variation can be done height, arm, and weight. Like the height we had in the college days versus what we have today is the continuous variation. Continuous variation, nothing but example of continuous data. What is the example of continuous data? How is the weather in your place? 21 degree in Mumbai, 21 degrees Celsius, right? So continuous data means something which you had a past data, all right? Today's data is 21 degrees Celsius. So based on that, can the weather department, so continuous data, that means you have a past, you have a present, and you can forecast the future. That is called as continuous data. What about discrete data? Discrete data means mostly it is numeric. What is it? It is numerics. It is only can be done through numbers. Temperature is alphanumeric, isn't it? 21 degrees Celsius, yes or no? So continuous
Yes.
is temperature. Continuous is temperature. Discrete means numbers. Like how many number of people working in your offices? Mr. Charlie, Mr. Dinesh Kumar, Mr. Vinod. You all three have a different number, correct? That is called as discrete data. Clear? Okay. How many number of people, how many number of people passed during your, your last class, or probably you can say last year of engineering, or you can say the last batch you've attended, correct? So those database, how many number of people have passed in your classroom, how many people couldn't able to pass, even that is the exact number of discrete data. Clear? Okay.
Yes.
So pass, fail, yes, no, number specific, all right, very precise numbers. These are the example of discrete data. Please make a note. Clear? Next one, continuous data would be those data which have to be referenced from the past data and present, and we can forecast the future. That is the example is height can be done, weight can be done of a person, arm span, as well as the temperature. Clear? Next slide.
Discontinuous variation. Measurements of discontinuous variance provide us with data in groups rather than a range. Discontinuous variation can be seen in human blood types. The ABO blood group system recognizes just 4 blood groups: A, B, AB, and O. There is no blood type that falls between these 4 categories, hence, this is discontinuous variation. Here are some examples: blood group and eye color.
Blood group and eye color. You have a limitation for that. If you see a standard color, what is the standard color of Indian eye color citizen? Standard, which is very common.
Black.
Black, dark brown, I can say. Dark
Yes.
brown also is there. Light brown also I've seen. Correct?
Yes.
Very rare people have hazel color. They are very rare. Very, very rarest. Correct? So what is the common one? common one is eye color, which is very dark brown, black, dark black, I can say. So eye color, discontinuous variation means which have limited number of possible values. So the color of the eye color of Ashwarya Rai, I'm taking this name because everybody knows about her, correct? She's very discontinuous variation. Why? It's very rare type, correct? Right? These people are very rare type, and these, in other words, when you're saying that something can, you cannot have anything in between. That means you cannot have a color combination. You cannot have a mixture of color. You have 4 standardization. You cannot be having more standardization of the blood group. That is discontinuous variation. Whatever the variation is there, you have to work as per this parameter. You cannot go above the parameter, and you cannot go above this parameter. Got it? All right.
Okay.
Under continuous variation, you will see you are crossing the line and dots. Did you see in the dot plot as well? It is
Yes.
crossing over the line. Got it? So under continuous variation, you'll be crossing over the line because it can go above the limits. Now, these 2 limits are called as upper control limit. So which is controllable is discontinuous variation. You do not have anything more experiment can be done. And which is non-controllable, continuous variation. Why discontinue? Because it has a past, present, and forecast based observed data. Correct? We can
Yes.
forecast it. Clear, everybody now? The next one, flexibility.
Flexibility is an important skill to learn, whether it means being able to manage stress or simply adapting swiftly to changes. A great degree of flexibility allows you to live a less stressful and chaotic life. While flexibility is essential, many people find it difficult to acquire for a number of reasons. Fortunately, you can improve overall flexibility. The ability to bend without breaking is properly defined as flexibility. However, it is frequently used to represent the capacity to adapt to changes in your life without stress or drama. Being adaptable in life means that you can readily adjust your plans and adapt to new conditions.
I guess it's going to be very, very self-learning, this very general, general version of flexibility. How important it is, very important. We have all learned about flexibility, which is not learned, we practice every day flexibility, right? In our career, in at home, how to be flexible, how to be adaptable with others, all right, which is helping us to be less chaotic and less stressful. Some people find it very difficult, all right, but it's always better to have flexibility. That means the ability to bend without breaking. You're not breaking your morale, but you're bending for circumstances. That's it. All right. You are able to represent the capacity to adapt the changes in your life. We have adapted the changes as per the company standard. Yes or no? Correct. And you will able to also readily adjust your plans as per the company standardization. Next slide. This is going to be very general. This was very general statement. Let's learn about variation.
Natural variation, often known as common cause variation, refers to changes in process flow caused by persons, minor variance in execution, or instrument performance fluctuations. These are variables that process improvement and process control may address. Special cause variation is caused by distinct and identifiable causes. For example, slides were late because the tissue processor was not loaded or shuttered on time. These are often one time or very occasional occurrences. Chasing after these variations is like putting out fires without truly improving anything in the long run.
Let's proceed. Common cause variation. Common cause means something which is inherited. All right. Inherited. That means it's a changes in the process, minor changes. All right. Instrumental performance fluctuation, processes, and which can be controlled, can be addresses. That is called as common cause variation or natural variations. All right. It is, the term itself says natural. Natural means which is naturally done. Please make a note. Common cause is also called as expected. Something is expected variation. Please make a note. Expected variation. So in examination, it will not come as common cause natural variation. They might ask you the question would be, what is the expected variation? Clear? Now, special cause is called as non-expected variation or unexpected variation. Please make a note. Unexpected variation. Special cause is called as unexpected variation. This variation is a result of unusual occurrences. For example, slide tissue was not properly loaded on time. And there was often very occasional occurrences, like putting out of fires. Now, have you people watched Doordarshan channel, DD, during your childhood days? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Yes.
correct? We are 80s, 90s born children, 80s born children. Did you
80s.
people 80s? Good,
No,
very good.
90s.
Okay, fine. So me being an 80s children, and we totally understand. Have you people experienced, sometimes the voice used to come later and the screen used to come ahead, or the screen used to come ahead. It doesn't used to sync the audio and video.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, right. The audio and video doesn't used to sync, right? It was
Lag
not
between
syncing.
audio.
Yeah, exactly. It was not syncing together. That is a perfect example of which example. It could be special cause or natural variation. What do you think? Yeah, it is special cause. It doesn't used to it happens very rarely, not all the times, correct? Not all the times. It was
Yes.
very rare combination, but that is called a special causation variation, which is unexpected. Okay, unexpected variation. Now, natural cause something is expected variation. Do you people follow any of these causes in your company? What is COVID? Common cause or special cause? Whenever it's unexpected, it is
Yeah.
a special cause. All right. Unexpected, natural occurrence, earthquake. All right. We have COVID. These are all special cause variations. Clear? Now, what is a common cause? Common cause example would be, I will say, we can also talk about computer system, or we keep on having updated virus. We are updating the virus, antivirus here on the system in the company altogether, one default system. All right. Measurement error, very common thing, isn't it? Something measurement was done, but it
Yes.
wasn't been error has been done. That's a very perfect example. All right. Employee taking more tasks to complete, delay in completing the task. These are all common cause. Delay in completing the cause, completing a task is a common cause. Next slide. Kindly continue.
Defects or
Defects.
rework occur when work is returned or delayed because it doesn't match client standards. This might happen, for example, if the tissue section quality is inadequate and the pathologist need to request a recut section of a greater quality. Defect variation is comparable to other types of variation in that the consumer does not get what they want or anticipate. However, defect variation varies from common cause and special cause variation in that it is characterized by its link to a standard.
What is defect variation? That means there's for example, whatever we expected. So they've taken a very simple example. That is, a pathologist needs to request a recut section for a greater quality. So the defect variation was to compare the types of variation. Consumer does not get what they want, what they anticipated. So what it do is, defect variation means it is something to be able to characterize how we can do better. That is, so if, for example, like consumer, we get the feedback, right? If you said, if you don't like, if you're not liking a feedback, if you're not liking a services, they'll ask you, right? What went wrong? Was the decorum was not good? Was the service not good? Was the food was not good? Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
If you're giving a poor quality, they'll ask you precisely what did it went wrong. So that is called a defect variation. That means you have a defect, you have a faulty, but what is the level of faulty? Which part of the system was faulty? Clear? Common cause versus special cause. Kindly continue. Okay, I'll say this. One person will take the common cause, one person will take the special cause.
Common
And
cause was special cause. Common cause environmental. 85% of variations, that is many small problems, predictable, difficult to eliminate. And some examples are poor maintenance of machines, normal wear and tear, insufficient training, not one way of working, poor working conditions, measurement errors, ambient temperature or humidity.
next person, please.
Special causes assignable 15% of variation, few large problems, unpredictable, easily detected and corrected. Few examples are poor matches of poor batch of material, inexperienced operator, out of date drawings, tool damage, maintenance check overlooked, misread drawing, planning instruction, machine breakdown.
So if in a company, if you have to calculate, if in a company, if you have to calculate what is the 100% ratio of defects. So my defects, my variation in the company, I will give you a report. Me being an employee, I would give a report that 85%, usually we have 85% as a common cause and 15% are the assignable cause. Please, because special cause is also called as assignable because it is assigned to us. All right. It is unpredictable. It's not, it was something was not predictable earlier, right? We created a group, we created a team, we created fluctuation, we adopted the fluctuation, we understood the assignment, and then we're working towards it. We understand the situation first, and then we're working towards it, right? COVID was a very, very chaotic situation. Then we took it as an assignment, and every company worked towards a different manner. We have this online class because of the COVID impact, isn't it? Right? Everybody shifted from offline study to online study, most of them. So if in a company, if an employee giving up a report, what would be what is a 100% defects? What are the defects has been as an annual report? Out of 100 percentages, I will say 85 had been the common causes, and 15% has been the because of the natural, because of the special cause, which is of the assignable factor. And I have to list down these details like this. Please make a note. The project managers gives out the reporting of the common cause versus or the number of special cause actually occurred in the company. Clear? Okay, next slide.
Flexibility is an important trait in any business or organization. Employers like people who are flexible and willing to learn and implement various tasks. This results in increased productivity and the ability to eliminate waste. The overall goal of a Lean Six Sigma is to increase a company's profits by eliminating waste and customer dissatisfaction. Lean manufacture in Six Sigma are two techniques used by companies to improve their overall performance and customer satisfaction. Six Sigma involves analyzing various forms of data and information, then using it to anticipate the needs of their customers. Lean manufacturing, on the other hand, works to eliminate waste by first identifying what causes the waste.
What is flexibility? You're adapting, you're changing your business goals to sometimes the company change their ultimate target also. Their vision and mission has also been altered. There are many instances, there are many companies that change their vision as per the because of the which type of cause? Common cause or special cause? When will the company do a lot of changes? When will the company will be doing undoing a lot of changes? Special cause or common cause?
Special cause.
Exactly, because of special cause. Correct? Employees like people, they are flexible to learn. Now, employees have to change their way of working structure in the special cause, and the result would be to increase the productivity and eliminate the waste. This is going to be very common and constant factor throughout Six Sigma. Increasing productivity and eliminating the waste, two common factor going to be throughout the Six Sigma. All right. So the overall goal of Lean Six Sigma company, any company, is always going to be increasing the profitability and eliminating the waste or mitigating the waste, as well as customer dissatisfaction, eliminating or reducing the customer dissatisfaction. So here we have two techniques used by the company is to improve their overall performances and customer satisfaction, because mitigating waste, reducing waste is already a part of Six Sigma. So Lean Six Sigma focuses on what? Overall performance and customer satisfaction, right? So companies use lots of data and information to understand that the feedbacks, the comment, the Facebook pages also have comment section below any company page, correct? Those comment is also a part of the data collected of the customer grievances. All right. So it helps us to understand and anticipate what exactly is the need of the customer. All right. So lean manufacturing works. Now this is for the company perspective, customer service perspective, or service-based industry. For the manufacturing-based industry, they work on to eliminate waste first. Any manufacturing industry, they work on the elimination of waste, and service industry, they work towards the overall performance and the customer satisfaction. So service industry is more of the Lean Six Sigma based concept, and manufacturing industry is still stuck to the core of the Six Sigma, that is the elimination of the waste. Clear? Next one.
Overproduction. This refers to producing more than is required, resulting in wasted products and labor. Excess transportation. Transportation that costs the customer money but doesn't add any value to the end product. Waiting, idle time, either via machine or labor. Corrections, wasted time fixing a problem because it wasn't done correctly the first time. Motion, running errands like pickups, parts, etc.
This is a part of an acronym under waste. What is this? It's a part of an acronym.
Teamwork.
Teamwork, very good. So under teamworks, overproduction, transportation, waiting, correction, that is, and motion. These are the acronym is denoted for the flexibility, right? Next slide. The law of flexibility.
The law of flexibility. There are 5 main laws organizations follows in order to achieve Lean Six Sigma. They are the law of the market, the law of flexibility, the law of focus, the law of velocity, the law of complexity and cost. Flexibility is a key component of any successful business. The law of flexibility states that an organization's overall flexibility can contribute to a more productive workplace. Employees who are flexible in their training and skills cut costs as a whole, one of the goals of Six Sigma.
See, we are learning specifically the law of flexibility. That means it is helping us to understand how the company can be flexible and towards a productivity workplace. For example, many companies adapted the maternity leaves for the females. All right. Okay. That company have changed their policy towards women working in the company. And that's how we can say the company is better place to work. Have you seen this particular certification many company gives? Even the Henry Harvin, great place to work, best place for females. Please see on the portal, great place to work, Henry Harvin. Okay, you can see on the LinkedIn portal. Just check the company profile. You'll able to check on the portal of the company. Just type in. You can type on the LinkedIn itself.
Okay.
All right. Or you can type best place to work, certified based companies in India. So you'll get this. You'll get the. It's a red and a blue color certified. They have this taglines for that. So that's how it is. So if you are changing as per the flexibility, as per your employees, as per the market, that's how it shows how much good reputation you can collect in the market, and what is exactly you're following as a Kaizen based concept in the company. That is much more philosophical. Just not saying the philosophy, but adjusting to the philosophically. You are implementing that. So employees who are flexible in their training skills, they cut the cost as a whole, and that's what the goal of Six Sigma is. So employees have also been trained for that to able to adapt Kaizen and Kanban both. Kaizen Kanban both are adaptive strategy under law of flexibility. Six Sigma roles and responsibility. Let's proceed. We have learned about yellow belt, black belt, and green and the master black belt. We'll be introducing 2 more. Champion, which is also sponsors, and process owner. And the above one is executive management. They are the C-suits of the company. That's CEO, CFO, CXO, CTOs, all the C-suits. All right. Let's start. The first one, executive management.
Executive management. The executive leadership owns the company's goal. They give sponsorship and establish expectations for Six Sigma performance. They allow the organization to implement Six Sigma and then track progress versus expectations. To complement their work, they often undergo specialist Lean Six Sigma training. Primary responsibilities of executive leadership: make the decisions to implement the Lean Six Sigma initiative and develop an accountability method, setting the vision and overall objective for the initiative, setting the direction and priorities for the Lean Six Sigma work.
So executive management, who are these? I just give an example. Who are the executive management?
CEO, CFO,
CTO, CXO,
CTO, all C-suits.
So here, when you're talking about executive management, they are the owner of the company. Please make a note. Being the owner of the company does not necessarily mean that you have to be well-versed with Six Sigma. It does not necessarily mean that you have to get certified with Six Sigma. That's why they recruit the master black belts. That's why they recruit the black belts in the company. Clear? All right. So being an executive management, they will see the overall. They are just the owner of the company. They are ultimately the responsible person of the company. Because whenever there's a scam in the company, who is held responsible here? Employee or the owner? Owner. For example, Byju's. I'm just taking Byju's. I'm just taking the name. They might be good in some of their perspective. But who was held responsible here? Byju's. The owner's name was highlighted everywhere. So they take a risk in their name. They're taking a lot of risk here. Got it? That is a reputational risk. So under the Lean Six Sigma, they are also called as, they can also recruit specialist Six Sigma training. So they themselves, as an owner, for example, who was reading a Charlie. So Mr. Charlie is running a company. All right. So Mr. Charlie himself is going to take the training from the master black belt. If there's no master black belt, he's going to take the training from the black belt to be able to understand the basics of the Six Sigma. Clear? Now, based on that, he's going to take a primary sets of objective. He have to do the decision of implementation. Who is going to be proceeding with the Lean Six Sigma initiative? Who's going to be taking up the accountability methodology, or they taking care of all the methods? That means the tools and techniques. He'll be bifurcating That is, okay, there are 4 of the 5 of our colleagues. Who's going to work as a green belt? Who's going to work as a yellow belt? Who's going to work as a black belt? Provided they also need to justify their certification. All right. We cannot just denote them randomly. So being an owner, he's going to set the vision and mission of the company as well as the projects. He's going to set the direction and priority for the Lean Six Sigma based organization. All right. Next one. Based on that, yeah, kindly continue, then I'll explain.
Acceptance of the project selection approach. 5th, choosing and recommending initiatives. 6th, ensure project alignment with organization strategy. 7th, choosing project champions. 8, project resource allocations. 9, keeping track of the Lean Six Sigma initiative success. 10, removal organization improvements and praise successful initiatives.
Thank you. So accepting the projection, he's going to take the selection part, selection of board of directors, stakeholders, selection of the Six Sigma belts. He's going to choose who's the best person fit for the initiative, different initiative. For example, eco-friendly products or sustainable processes. They require different type of speciality, correct? Next one, ensure project alignment with organizational strategy. Ensuring that the Lean Six Sigma strategy is aligned with the company vision and missions. Next one, choosing the project champion. What are project champion? We'll be learning the further slides. And also allocating the resources, keeping a track of the success ratio of the Six Sigma projects, as well as removing the impediments. What is impediments?
Blockades.
Very good. The obstacle or the blockages, all right, and then praising those who have done their successful parts, all right. That is increasing morale of their employees. Next one, champion. Next person, please.
A champion is often an upper-level manager, also referred to as sponsor, who discovers and picks the most significant projects to work on, as well as providing direction to the Six Sigma belts and opening doors for the belts to apply process improvement technology. They are in charge of developing a business roadmap and personal training plan to fulfill Six Sigma goals and objectives within the tier of accountability. To complement their work, they also undergo specialist Lean Six Sigma training. Primary responsibilities of champion.
First, let me just complete this slide. So who is a champion? Who's a senior? That is a senior sponsor. All right. So please remember, champion, senior sponsor. Some companies use the term champion. Some companies use the term sponsor. Who discovers the project, what they're supposed to do. They provide direction. They themselves are certified belts. Right. They themselves are already certified belt. They align with the mission and vision. They also use VSM tool. What is VSM?
Value stream mapping.
Absolutely correct. They are in charge and develop the roadmap for the company. They give personal training, and their ability to complete their work, as well as they undergo specialist Lean Six Sigma company. And who could be they? They again going through a specialist Six Sigma training. So who are they?
Senior managers, steering members.
Senior managers, steering members, correct.
Operations manager.
Operation manager, very good. Operation specialist. Then we have senior manager, project managers. They are the project managers as well. Additional certification they need to take. Everybody can come up with their own designation, but provided they are all the seniors, okay? Champions and sponsors are all seniors. Clear? Next slide. Let us understand their responsibilities. Kindly continue.
Primary responsibilities are they provide their approval and sign off on the project charter. They provide their approval and sign off on the project charter. Act as a team's point of contact with top management. Ensures that his or her initiatives are in line with the strategic aims and objectives of the firm. Projects that are not aligned and are also terminated. Assist the Lean Six Sigma teams with the resources. Helps the team overcome organizational hurdles. Supervises project tollgate evaluations. Poses pertinent project team inquiries and approves finished projects. Rewards and recognizes members of the project team. Extends, replicates project outcomes.
All right. So now again is a typo here. The first and the second option are been repeated. Kindly avoid. So what are they doing? They're providing their approval and sign off of the project charter. Some companies have a interchangeable, but project owners are very different. Are we getting it? Project owners are different designation. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Project owners, different designation. Project sponsors and champions are similar designation. I repeat again. Clear? Yeah. So here, yeah, your answer is also considerable. After project owners, which you're correct, after project owners able to verify it, able to give out the orders, that is the time the project charter is being signed up, all right, and issued is done by the project sponsor. Project sponsor is the one who owns the project, but the final one who creates the project charter is different. Please make a note, everybody. Correct. Project charter is created by the project manager. Very good. When I'm talking about project manager, okay, they are the topmost, not the small project managers, not the line managers. I'm not talking about smaller people here. We're talking about project stakeholders or project managers, okay, that much level of high authority. Directly the seniors. Who creates a project charter? What is project charter? First of all, what is project charter?
Project charter is a high-level information regarding the project, high-level project requirements, high-level project risk, the budget, milestones, and
Correct.
key stakeholders, who will be key stakeholders, and what are the business outcomes.
Okay. Project charter is very, very lengthy. It takes months time. Yeah. It takes more than a month's time sometimes to create. So project charter is created by the project manager. Project charter is created by the project manager or the stakeholders. And project charter is been issued, or we can say signed off, by whom?
Signed by the sponsor.
Yes. Either by the sponsors or by the champion. Can we say sponsors, or please make a note. Is it project sponsors or project owners? I repeat again. Project owners are bigger people. Project owners, do not get confused with project owners. They are project sponsors, which is also called as project champions. I'm typing it here because it's very same sounding, and it's a very mirror common practices. We'll say mirror common, similarities between both the designation. Next one. Responsibilities of champions. This is champions and sponsors both. Okay, they will take the approval and sign off. Okay, they provide their approval and sign off. They need to. Next one, they're going to be acting as the team points of contact. That is SPOC. We might have heard about SPOC, single point of contact. So they act like a single point of contact between the top level hierarchy to the bottom level hierarchy for that particular process only. They make sure that they're aligned with the strategies and aim. They align the entire team for that particular process. And they also not align, but please make a note, they don't have the authority. They do not have the authority to terminate. Who have the authority to terminate? And higher management. Because we are talking about project sponsors here, who's also termed as champion. Do not get interchange, all right? So it's helping them to assist Lean Six Sigma team. They're helping to overcome organization obstacles. They supervise the toll gate. What is toll gate?
Shifting from one phase to another phase. Actually,
Very good.
we have multiple phases there for design,
Correct.
development, like this. So one phase.
Correct. Do you remember these shapes? Diamond shape, rectangular shape.
Yes, yes.
Toll gates are nothing but those type when you have to take a decision. You're undergoing a changes, right? In the next model, it is covered. Now, it possesses project inquiries. So they're going to take the inquiries from the vendors, suppliers, and then they took the approval, and then finally they're going to help him to finish the project. They also works towards the rewards and recognitions. So these, whenever they are working, okay, and for example, in the year, till the time they hit the November quality month, if they have achieved 8 to 9 successful project, for example, 9 successful project, they will be rewarded in the month of November quality month. That's how the entire cycle goes. Got it? So the company have an award function in that month. Clear? They also extend replicates and project outcome. Replicates means they might replicate the previous types of projects which are successfully done, and the overall project outcomes they will try to enhance and able to achieve new benchmark. Now let's talk about process owners.
Yeah, Lean Six Sigma position connected with human is a process owner who manages the many functions and work activities at all levels of process. The owner has the power of capacity to adjust the process as needed or to make decisions about process modifications, and he or she supervises the whole process cycle to guarantee performance effectiveness.
So here we have one particular factor called process owner. That means they own a particular, that small particular process is owned by them. They manage many function. They take care of all the level of activities. They also change the capacity to adjust the need to make the decision making process. They'll be working on the modification. They also going to be supervising the whole process cycle to be able to give you the guarantee performance effectiveness. Now, in short, there were a lot difference with the project manager. Process owner should not consider as a project manager. Project manager is a
Yes.
very big umbrella. Project manager is a huge umbrella. Process owner is one of the smallest part. For example, if you're giving small tasks, okay, to handle by 5 to 6 people, or it could be a bigger size, maximum, like, it depends on company to company, basically. So these are the factors are considered under the process owner. Clear? Next slide. What are the responsibilities? Kindly continue.
Primary responsibilities of process owner: select team members, assignment of resources to projects, offers process knowledge, review process modifications, support and approve the process adjustments, make adjustments to the process, be accountable for the implementation and upkeep of the control strategy, ensure the progress is maintained.
So what are the responsibilities? See, if you see very minutely, the factors are, I'm going to just highlight the important pointers here. They select the team members. They assign the resources. They also offer their knowledge. All right. They offer their process now. That means they are always there in the smallest part of the, hindicles or the obstacles they're able to, overcome it. They review the process. They make the adjustment. They also they also give support to it. They be accountable. They upkeep the control strategy, and they always ensure that the progress is maintained. All right. So some of the companies, I repeat again, some of the company process owners are also stakeholders of the company who invest certain amount of percentage in the company. Clear? Master black belt.
A Master Black Belt is a technical specialist in Six Sigma methodology with extensive expertise in statistics and other management domains who gives technical help mentorship to the Black Belt and Green Belt during the project. In addition to projects of equal and higher complexity to those completed by Black Belts, Master Black Belts are capable of conducting training, advising, and teaching Lean Six Sigma techniques and processes to others.
Okay, who's a master black belt? Master black belt are those who have at least a 10 to 20 years of experience as a black belt. You have a perfect line. See, from the yellow belt, white belt, green belt, black belt, and master black belt. It is a perfect synchronization, like a perfect methodology, a straight line of a staircase. After that, you have additional staircase called process owner, project sponsors, champions. They are the additional sets of higher level hierarchy. All right. Till that time, till the black belt, you have a perfect set of strategies. Okay. Perfectly be depicted. So as a technical specialist, being a master black belt, you're a technical specialist. Being a master black belt, you need an ISO certification based on an industry. Being a master black belt, you need 10 to 20 years minimum as a working practical knowledge of being a black belt already. That's how you get into master black belt, right? So he's the one who dominates and domains the company with the technical help. He gives the mentorship to all the below belts. He is always available for the higher complexity. They're able to solve the higher, they're problem maker, they're problem solvers, and they're able to justify the problem in the angle of Six Sigma methodology. All right. So here they're able to complete the black belts, master black belts, and they're capable of conducting training, advising, teaching, monitoring, guidance. Everything is done. Any question related to Six Sigma, the first person to approach is the master black belt. So they define Six Sigma in the company. Next slide. What is their responsibilities?
Number one, coach Six Sigma Green and Black Belts, make effective use of the resources made available by management, keep a watchful eye on the project progress, select initiatives in collaboration with the champion and process owner, resolve issues that are causing the project to become unstable, remove any impediments to the project success, assist the organization and improvement projects as a subject matter expert, go over and approve finished projects, share all of the project team's lessons learned. After the project is completed, provide feedback to the reward committee.
Got it? Who's the reward committee? The board of directors committee. All right. Black belts. Continue.
Black belt. A black belt is a full-time project team leader who works under the guidance of a champion and with technical assistance. From a master black belt to address challenges. Black belts works on assignments that are somewhat complicated and demand a high level of concentration to complete. Primary responsibility of black belt.
Okay, I'm going to give you one particular structure here. Say the first one we have white. Go above to yellow belt. It goes above to green belts. That above to the black belt. Now, the black belt has two options here. Okay. He has directly, okay, here it is. Okay. The black belts have two options here. The first one, now you have an MBB, Master Black Belt. Okay. Or you have one more option working under the champion or the, what is the champion also called as? Champion is also called as?
Senior managers.
No.
Operation managers.
Project sponsors.
Sponsors.
All right. So black belt either can take orders. See, as I told you, some companies have black belt, some company does not have a black belt. So if you do not have a master black belt, who takes up the roles? Champions and the project sponsors. So that's why black belt taken or works under the guidance of project champion. Got it? Okay. And then above them, there's who's going to be there? Above the MBB, you have
Executive management.
Executive management. Absolutely correct. Now, where would the project owners falls under? Again, there's some of the companies have one more tree bifurcated, and here would be the project owners. There's a possibility project owners also can be above black belt, but always going to be below the master black belt. Clear, everybody now? Let's understand the responsibilities of the BBs, black belts. Kindly continue.
First, manage and lead Six Sigma initiatives. Second, provide net present value return on investment and project payback estimates. Third, make effective use of the resource made available by management. Fourth, continuously monitor project progress. Fourth, assist DMAIC teams in implementing Six Sigma approaches to issue solving. Sixth, select projects in collaboration with the champion, process owners, and master black belt. Seventh, address any issue that arose during the 8. Provide management with an update on project progress. 9. Go through finished projects. 10. Share all of the project's teams' lesson learned.
Clear, everybody? Any question here out of 10? This is very proper indicating they are assessing DMAIC.
Yes.
All right, they're assisting DMAIC and they're collaborating. We are working collaboratively with you. Collaboratively means they're working part-time for all the people under, yes, part-time for part presence in all of the people, below the people. Like they're taking the order of the champion, they're taking the order of process owners, they're also taking the order of master black belt. So they're into multiple projects at a time. I repeat again, they're into multiple projects at a same time. Clear, everybody? The green belts.
Green belts are Six Sigma practitioners who primarily operate inside their functional area or support problems within their local span of control. They often deal with less communicated challenges than black belts and complete at least 2 projects each year. They are also members of the black belt team, assisting in the completion of the black belt project.
Is this clear? Any questions here? Because we have learned about green, belt, and white in detail. Any questions here, anybody? Kindly continue. Primary responsibilities.
Primary responsibilities of green belt. First, support Six Sigma initiatives with a great return on investment. Second, lead smaller initiatives with reasonable savings and return on investment. Third, assist projects by providing process understanding and data collecting. Fourth, utilize the DMAIC methodology and relevant statistical methodologies. Fifth, worked with the black belt to identify area for improvement. Sixth, gives feedback to the master black belt, and process owner during project selection. Seventh, identify and report any hurdles to project success and discuss with MBB, BB. Eighth, lead small-scale initiative with the help of black belts.
Any of the question, please ask, because everything is already covered in the previous slides. Let's start with the yellow belt.
The yellow belt is involved in process management operations. They thoroughly comprehend the Six Sigma principle and are capable of defining processes, addressing challenges related to their job duties, and implementing and retaining the benefits of improvements. They apply Six Sigma ideas to the tasks. They may work on green or black belt projects.
Any questions here?
No.
All right. Thank you. Next slide. Primary responsibilities.
Primary responsibilities of yellow belt. Number one, assist the black belt and green belt on projects. Number two, as a successful team member, you should always assist the project in the data collective process. Number three, use the DMAIC approach and the relevant tools. Number four, put Six Sigma tools to use in the workplace. And number five, make an idea for future initiatives. In addition, other team members of a project team are chosen by the process owner and trained in Six Sigma methodology. They actively participate and support Six Sigma projects.
Any question here for the responsibilities of a yellow belt?
No.
Okay. Next one, kindly continue. I'll take this. This is a very important one. So Six Sigma roles and responsibility. Owns vision, direction, integration, result, lead change. Who is this? Designation, please. Which designation?
Management.
The executive
CEO.
management. Exactly, the CEO. All right, all the C-suites level. All right. Next one, executives, which is mentioned here. Okay, they're the perfect example of executives. Under that, you will come either on the left-hand side of project champion, which is also called as
Project sponsor.
project sponsors.
Project sponsors.
Very good. So project sponsors, and above project sponsors and champion, you have project owners, see, who implement, who are solution, and they're also sometimes agent managers for some companies. Next, on my left-hand side, or left-hand side is champion and project owners, my right-hand side is project team members. Sometimes they are the part-time or the project specific. Some of the employees are project specific. That is, the champions can be project specific, the sponsors can be project specific, the project owner also can be project specific. All right. Next one. Below than that, we have a green belts and the black belts. They all work. Black belts are always full-time, but they work into multiple projects. True or false? Black belts are
Yes.
full-time, but they work multiple projects. Very good.
Multiple.
Correct. Green belts, they are part-time, but they do not work in multiple projects. They work only with one project. There's a probability that green belts also works with multiple projects. All right. Yeah. They help the black belts. They give training and coaching. Master black belt, similar one. Full-time, they give training and coaching to the below belts. They specifically, they train to the black belts, and the black belts trains to the below belts. Clear? And who are we? We are the employees here. We understand the vision, we understand our KPI is given to us, and apply the concept to our job and fulfill our designation. All right. Let's understand DMAIC quickly. We just have to go to overall, just a gist, which particular define, measure, analyze, improvement, and control. Let's understand. Kindly continue.
During this phase, we identify the most crucial and significant areas for change. This phase is likewise concerned with mapping the process, focus, scope, and ultimate purpose, as well as comprehending how the problem affects the all stakeholders. The issue statement is the first step in starting a DMAIC cycle.
Okay. What are the tools used in define phase? Please make a note. I'm going to quickly say. The project charter is created.
Yes.
The project charter, PC. Second one,
Yes.
flow diagram. Flow diagram. Next, VSM. Next, SIPOC, SIPOC. SIPOC. Next one, VOC, voice of customer. Next one, CTQ, critical to quality. Noted?
Yeah.
Okay. These are the tools we'll be covering under the define phase. All right. And will be explained in detail with the help of the next module. Next one, kindly continue. Next slide.
The other critical steps at this stage are determine the opportunities with the greatest potential for improvement, outline the project scope, and create value stream map to document each stage in the process. Create a voice of the customer table to identify client demands. Determine all stakeholders. Estimate the project's impact and completion date. Determine and document business opportunities. Identify additional relevant process.
So the point here is, okay, at which stage do you create your project charter? Which phase of DMAIC? At which phase of DMAIC do we use or do we create project charter?
The initial phase.
The initial phase. Correct. At the defined phase. Absolutely correct. All right. So I'm sharing you a template of the project charter. Next one, measure phase.
In the measure phase, baselines are established to measure the performance of a specific process. It is impossible to measure progress without solid standards for comparison. As a result, at this point, we create the data gathering strategies that will be utilized to assess success, recognize signs of intake, processes, and output, gather and analyze current status data, analyze the failure modes and impacts, conduct a process capability analysis. Control charts, bar charts, and run charts, among other visual management tools, can help your achievement better outcomes at this stage.
So this is the time you start doing your complex calculations here. All right. At the measure stage, we'll be learning about how do we do it, how do we able to set up, first creating a setup, then able to run and create the charts and the diagram under the Excel. And if some of them which is not in Excel, how do we able to create it under the mini tab? Clear? I'll be sharing you all the steps, required steps. So please make a note. What are the tools under the measures phase? Please make a note. First one, different types of charts like histogram, Pareto charts, control charts.
Normed distribution.
Very good. Anything else you can think of? Fishbone diagram.
Fishbone.
Yes, fishbone diagram.
Ishikawa 5i.
Yes, that is the Ishikawa 5i diagram. Scatter plots.
Bubble chart.
Bubble chart, which is now outdated, Mr. Is it still working with your company?
No.
Very rare of them. Okay. FMEA, please make a note. FMEA. Failure. What does the FMEA stands for?
Failure mode effective analysis.
Very good. Failure mode effective analysis. FMEA is also covered in the measure phase. 5S. Regression analysis is also will be covered in the measure phase. All right. All the complex computation. Next slide. ANOVA test also. Next one, analyze. Let's start the analyze. Kindly continue.
The purpose of this phase is to discover and test the underlying cause of problems in order to ensure that improvement occurs for the source of the problems. The critical steps at this stage include complete root cause analysis, that is RCA, which includes a wide range of techniques and methodologies such as changes analysis, events and causal factors analysis, and the Nepper-Turgeon problem-solving and decision-making model. Failure mode and effects analysis (FMEA) is used to detect all potential issue areas, inefficiencies, faults, defects, and flaws.
Now, every particular DMAIC are interlinked with each other. DMAIC are interlinked with each other. When I say interlinked, all right, at defined stage, you're going to define 5 problems and you're going to select one of them under measure phase. Likewise, under measure phase, for one particular problem, which you have to give, you'll come down with at least 5 different types of solution. And based on these 5 solution, you will be analyzing which solution works the best for us. And again, you'll come down around 5 to 6 solution. And then based on that, you will select which one will be improving our system. And after we're done improvement, that is implementing the changes in the process, we'll see how we're supposed to make it sustainable. That is at the control. Got it? That's why FME is reflecting on the measure phase. It's also reflecting in the analyze phase. That is failure mode analysis. Why? It's because to check whether how much is the percentage of the accuracy can be done and what percentage of the failure mode we can able to recover or not. Failure mode effective analysis. Clear? All right. Little bit about the Kerpner-Trege. Who's Kerpner-Trege? A decision-making framework. It is helping us to solve. Now, this was developed by 1950s. Little bit of detail. It was done in 1950s. and by two people. There were two in personality here. Their name was Charles Kepner. The second one is Benjamin Trego. Mr. Charles and Mr. Benjamin. Their surname is Kepner and Trego. That's how they both together, they created this particular technique, a model called Kepner-Trego model. All right. It is also called as, please make a note, it is also termed as KT model. KT model. In the next module.
Okay.
We are just introducing now. Clear?
Okay.
Okay. Next one. Kindly continue.
Using a multivariate chart to provide a visual depiction of the variations within a particular process. Process control implementation, making a strategy for improvement. After this phase, you will be able to successfully collect and document all chances for change, and your plan of action will begin to take form.
So what is multivariate chart? Multivariate chart is nothing but that kind of a depiction help us to understand the fact that a particular chart which is helping us to understand the two direction factor, a plot which is done in two direction. All right. So this multivariate chart, the only factor is just to remember is that analyze phase, you also continue to the calculation of the measure phase and under the analyze phase as well. Whatever measure which we done the calculation, but still to check the accuracy, we proceed with the analyze phase. At this phase, we use a technique called process control implementation technique. And we make a strategy that whether this particular complex sets of calculation which is done, which the company have invested a lot of time, money, different allocation of assets, they're able to justify them. After this phase, we're able to collect all the documents and change, and there are chances of changing your plan as well. In case if this particular plan we feel like, whichever we take the initiative, is not that accurate as the current process is already, then we can take the U-turn from this place. That means we will not proceed further to the next one. All right. If there's a chances of risk, if there's a chance of failure, then at analyze, we will stop. Clear? But if there's a successful chances after the documentation, after understanding the solution, if we know that if we utilize this particular sets of solution based, it is going to be very helpful for the company, then we'll proceed to the next slide. That is the improve phase. Clear? Kindly continue.
With the study completed and the data in hand, it is time to begin making improvements. This stage includes the following activities: brainstorm and propose solutions, create a design of experiments to establish a solution's projected advantages, revise process maps and plans based on the data gathered in the previous step, create a test solution and strategy to enhance the process, hold Kaizen events, inform all relevant parties about the solution.
So what are the tools used under the improve phase? Under the improve phase, you are sticking to the philosophy. You're making sure you're not having any illegal practices. That's why you have Kaizen and Kanban under improve stage. Next one, improve. Where were we? Kaizen and Kanban. Please make a note. Kaizen and Kanban. And you're creating DOE. DOE is helping us to introduce to the next version, that is DMAIC. DMADV. All right. DMADV and DMAIC. There are two of them form, correct? But at the improve phase, you will get an option. Every company gets an option to break the chain and jump up to the DMAIC through the help of a medium called DOE. Understood? Like the Western Railway and Central Railway. You can break the chain from here and you can proceed with the DMADV from the improve stage if you want to. Clear? Okay, always remember, DMAIC is for the current processes and DMADV is for those process which is under experimental, or it's a future-based project or forecast-based products or services. Clear? Forecast-based changes or experiment basis changes in the companies are DMADV. And the breakthrough is DOE. How is it? What's the difference of DMAIC and DMADV? Is through a particular tool called DOE, Design of Experiments. Clear? All right, next one.
At this level, the usage of improvement management software is beneficial. This allows the process to move more smoothly, establish cross-functional collaboration, and makes it easier for management and executives to track the development of a specific DMAIC project.
So which particular softwares are used by you people? Minitab is globally recognized, and the other one is called as the lean way. Some companies use the lean way. And it is the other one very famous is KPI Fire. KPI Fire, leading. It's a leading strategy-based software. All right. I repeat again, KPI Fire. Then you have the Lean Way, and the globally accepted is the Minitab. So what's any other tool is done at the improved stage? Yes, brainstorming, PDCA, correct? Plan, do, check. So these are the tools used under the improve phase. And the last one, kindly continue, control.
After improvements have been implemented and problems have been effectively addressed to enhance your operations, it is necessary to put the process under control to ensure its long-term efficacy. Determine and record the new work standard, create a quality control strategy to verify that the entire team is using the same methodologies and metrics, confirm a decrease in failures caused by the intended cause.
So under the improve control stage, after the improvement, we will able to understand that is which are the factors under control and which is ensuring long-term efficiency. So you're making sure when the particular factor, okay, one particular changes. What is DMAIC? Nothing but the changes, right? One particular alteration or manipulations or changes added into the process. How, based on the control, we'll able to see how we'll able to sustain this. Okay, how we'll able to sustain this process for future perspective, for the long-term efficiency. We're going to record the new work standardization. There will be new framework of new standardization. We're going to also cross-check the quality, verify with the team using a similar methodology and metrics, and confirm if there's a decrease in the failures, confirming what has been the impact of the new processes. All right. What are the tools used under the control? Like SPC tool. Okay. SPC, 5S. All right. These are the tools used. Kindly continue.
Use statistical process control to track process execution and detect any problems. Determine whether more enhancements are required to satisfy process objectives. Using the 5S of lean, streamline process improvements. Learned lessons should be integrated, documented, and communicated. Following the control phase, you may assess the total effect of process modification in terms of cost savings, efficiency, quality improvement, increased productivity, and customer satisfaction.
Okay, the other tools are used, which is called as Pareto chart. Next one.
80-20.
Yes, 80-20. Very good. Next one is scatter diagram. And one of the most famous also, Pokayoka. Or we can also say Pokayoki.
Yeah.
Pokayoki. Yes, these are the one used under the control phase. Clear? Okay.